All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Rundown, episode 18. I know it's been a long month since everybody heard our voice. A lot going on. Christmas break. I had a sick kid. Well, no, actually, he went back to school the week after Christmas break. We're going back to school. He was there for like 2 days, and then he came home with like 103-degree fever. And he's been sick like all week long.
Playing hooky.
So, he's definitely feeling better now.
Good.
Work, school, yeah, they ended up scheduling me one day. But yeah, so how was your Christmas? How was
Christmas was good. I actually decided to stay in town this year. I didn't go home.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you go see your parents?
Yeah, no, they went without me. They did our yearly tradition with my nephew. So that was his first Star Wars movie in theaters, which was really cool. He was super excited to go see it. So
they traded you in for a younger model?
Yeah, that's fine. It's his time to shine, I guess.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was good. Just hung out with some friends. Went to a couple dinners and stuff like that. So it was good. Overall, good Christmas. So a lot of time off to do some grinding that I needed to do. So got that all done.
What about since Christmas? Have you done anything fun and exciting? Play anything new?
Not well, kind of. Out of boredom and like to just kind of dissociate myself from Destiny for a little bit. I got a couple of the Lego games just because I needed something mindless, and they were super cheap at the time, like
they're fun.
$6, $7.
Yeah.
So I got the Force Awakens one, and then I got the newest Marvel Superheroes 2.
Yeah.
So I mean they're fun, just like a little mash.
Kill some time. You ain't got enough to play, but you don't feel like going nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got, because everybody was getting the bug, so I had it too. And so then I was like, okay, I guess I gotta, like, this is a good time to grind out some Destiny. And so for the last 2 weeks, I've been grinding my ass off in Crucible, and I'm exhausted. I finished almost everything. All I have left to get is Redrix, which should be done at some point relatively soon, and then Not Forgotten. So like I got Luna's Howl, I got Revoker, Randy's Throwing Knife, did all the Gambit weapons. So I'm just tired.
Hell yeah,
tired.
dude.
So that was fun. But yeah, nothing new. What about you? I know you were jamming out on.
So I have to confess my sins.
Oh God.
I have not turned my system on since before our last episode.
Really?
I have not touched a single game.
That's good though, because I mean that kind of snaps you back to reality, I guess, a little bit. Because I mean, as much as we want to call ourselves gamers, like there's still got to be that.
Well, you still need a break every now and then.
Exactly.
And that's what happened. I feel like I went so hard for so long that I really just needed to back away for just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I turn Death Stranding on every now and then. But I just, like I said, I just needed a break. There was a lot of stuff on TV, honestly. I became obsessed, like legitimately obsessed with the show Lucifer.
That's is that the CW one?
I guess I'm thinking it was because they were canceled after season 3.
Yeah, and he shows up in like a Crisis episode.
And that's what turned me onto it. I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, I'm gonna go check this show out since they did like a little intermingle there, and I checked it out, and I fell in love with it. There is something so hilarious to me about the devil needing to see a therapist.
That's awesome.
So once I saw that, I was like, cool, I'm gonna check this out. I fell in love with it. Tom Ellis is an amazing actor, and I sat home every single day. Didn't turn out, I watched all 4 seasons. They got canceled after season 3, which I believe I'd have to double check, but it may have been on the CW. But apparently there was a big like protest or whatever to bring that show back. Apparently there was over 8 million signatures to bring this show back.
Wow.
So Netflix ended up picking it up, and Netflix brought it back for 2 more seasons. I guess it's kind of may have been 4 more seasons depending on how you look at it, because they brought it back for 2 more seasons. But they split the 2 seasons up into 2 parts. So there's a lot of episodes per season, but they split those 2 seasons up. So, no, fell in love with the show Lucifer. Have done nothing but watch that. I let The Mandalorian play out. until the last couple of.
We need to talk about that.
So I let that show play out a little bit until all those episodes were out, and then by the time I came back to it and noticed, okay, cool, all the episodes are out. My other 2 Apple TV shows had actually finished the same week as The Mandalorian, which was The Servant by M. Night Shyamalan and Truth Be Told, starring Aaron Paul. That show is super amazing. The Servant by M. Night Shyamalan is super fucking weird.
That's M. Night Shyamalan, what'd you expect?
Yeah, he actually just got renewed for 60 more episodes for that show. So that's super cool.
How many shows are they doing a season? Is it...
So there was 8 or 9 episodes in the first season. And then I went and looked at some articles or whatever. I'd have to recall where I read it. But yeah, I looked it up, and sure enough, 60 more episodes for that one show. It's pretty cool. I want to see where they take it. Like I said, it's really weird seeing a Ron Weasley hooked on drugs and wanting to fuck everything he sees.
That's yeah, I feel like all those Harry Potter kids just kind of took a turn. You know what I mean? Like Daniel Radcliffe starring in some
Swiss Army Knife, I think is what it was called.
Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man, excuse me.
And then he's in that movie with Adam Driver. I forget the name of it. It's hilarious.
Then he did Pitch Perfect 2 or 3. He was in one of the Pitch Perfect movies.
Oh, is he?
As he was the bad guy wanting to blow something up, I don't know, and apparently they had to sing their way through, and yeah, it was weird.
Sounds like a Nick Kids show or something.
So there was that, just a lot of watching TV, and then, like I said, studying, a lot of online stuff, trying to get stuff ready for 2020. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Did you get a chance to catch The Witcher at all?
I have not. No, I want to, but I think that's I'm gonna hold off on that for right now. I'm gonna let that play through, let it die down. I'll get to it eventually. There's just so much other stuff. Have you?
I watched the first episode, and then a little bit of another episode because there was the meme going around about the song.
Okay.
And I was just trying to. I'd heard it before, and I was just I didn't know what it was from. I knew it was from The Witcher, but I didn't know what episode and stuff. So I just went and checked that part out, and I was like, he's the comic relief of the show.
Henry Cavill.
No, it's talking about the guy, the toss a coin to your Witcher song. The guy that does that's the big comic relief of the show,
right?
Which is really cool. It seems like a very interesting show, and everyone that's watched it loves it. So I guess I need to get back on it and just kind of catch up. There's only 8 episodes, I think. So.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not at all. And then the fucking Mandalorian, I cannot wait until November.
So, is that when it's back? Is November?
Oh, it's slated for fall 2020. So I'm guessing.
Okay, so starting August, then August will be the start of fall.
Well, I was guessing November because that's when season 1 came out.
Well, yeah, no, most definitely, yeah.
So I mean, if we get it earlier, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many I don't know, cliffhangers and hill biters and fan service. It was awesome. It was just such a good episode.
I loved his little dark saber at the end.
Yeah, that's
pretty great.
That's incredible. That's a huge deep cut for Mandalorians, and that the fact that it's here in canon is amazing, and I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Thought he was dead, but nope, that guy's tenacious, and I think it's going to be a really, really good season next season.
Yeah, his goal now is to take the little baby back to its species and reunite it, I believe is what they were saying.
Something like that, yeah. It's I don't know. There's so many directions they can take it though, but that sacrifice from IG-11.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
He finally got his jetpack, which is cool. Happy for him.
Yeah. And the signet that he got was really cool too. The Mudhorn, just because that's how him and Baby Yoda defeated the Mudhorn together, so that's what bonded him, and that's how he earned his signet.
Yeah.
It was just really cool. I loved the episode. Such a good season. So I'm really and actually I kind of wanted. Everybody's been talking about wanting to see a spinoff of the 2 speeder bike troopers.
Oh yeah, that was so funny. I had the shooting the can scene.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. And Michelle didn't even notice it at first. I had to rewind it. And I was like, look, they can't even hit a sitting can. It's pretty great.
It's right there. It's
right in front of the face. Yeah. Like, oh, that's funny.
It was Jason Sudeikis and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who it was that were doing the voices. I was like, that's really, really cool.
Hell yeah. Like I enjoyed it though. I was kind of upset because usually I know going into a show, okay, this is the last episode. But when I tuned into it, I didn't realize like that was the last episode. I thought, you know, I had like one or two more. So I was not mentally prepared for it to end.
Yeah, no. It ended amazingly, but I'm ready for more. That's the only problem I got.
Oh yeah, 2020 is going to be a great year.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a lot of new stuff going on for the channel, and of course we're gonna have Mandalorian. You had, well, I guess I can't really say Star Wars, the last saga. Doesn't Phase 4 start this year?
Yeah, Phase 4 will start. I forget exactly when.
So yeah, Phase 4 will start this year. You will have new gen consoles this year. So it's going to be definitely an exciting year.
It's huge. We're going to start getting all our Marvel shows on Disney Plus. They moved up WandaVision to 2020 to kind of coincide with New Mutants, I think. And what's the first movie we're getting this year? Black Widow in May.
Widow, yeah.
So that'll be a nice little kickoff.
Still getting Scarlet?
Yeah, that's the WandaVision thing.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. Are you going to check out Birds of Prey? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I may do it for some sort of reaction, but I don't really care to.
Yeah, I'll just react to your reaction.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the DC universe as far as movies go. Like, nothing has grabbed me and been like, oh, like I want to watch this over and over because it's so good or whatever. It's just like every movie seems independent now, and like I don't know. I'm just not a huge, as much as I love Margot Robbie, I'm just not a huge fan of her as Harley Quinn. Yeah. Like I'm not a huge fan of the Harley Quinn being portrayed.
That just doesn't seem like a interesting movie to me. Nothing in that trailer captured me and was like, oh yeah, right. I totally got to see this.
The most interesting thing about that whole movie is the fact that it's got Black Mask in it.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool Batman villain, but it's a Batman villain.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ewan McGregor, so I mean there's that, but I mean as far as the movie as a whole,
no.
Not feeling it. Much as I want to, can't do it.
True. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up our monthly recap. You want to go ahead and jump into it?
Let's do it.
All right. Number one on the list, Respawn boss takes over EA's DICE LA studio. Vince Zampella will head up DICE's LA-based office. Vince Zampella, co-founder of Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order developer Respawn Entertainment, will head up EA's DICE's LA-based studio, with the Los Angeles Times reports under Zampella's leadership. EA plans to expand the outfit and have it released in an original game. Up until now, the LA-based DICE studio has primarily been responsible for providing support for DICE Stockholm, the developer for Battlefield franchise. According to the LA Times profile, the office will remain in separate from both Respawn and DICE Stockholm under Zampella's leadership, but will probably be rebranded to establish its own identity. And they quote, we will probably rebrand, Zampella says. We want to give it a new image. We want people to say, this is the destination you can go and make new content. I think they've gotten the branding that they are supposed to for the studio for DICE Stockholm. I think rebranding it's important for showing people, hey, come work here. We're going to do some amazing things. While he leads the LA DICE office, Zampella says he will remain on as head of Respawn. Meanwhile, Jedi Fallen Order director Stig Asmussen will lead Respawn's narrative-driven branch. Chad Greener will oversee Apex Legends, and Peter Hirschman will helm previously announced VR Medal of Honor game for Oculus Rift called Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. Zampella teases there might be more projects underway at the studio as well. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond is slated for release in 2020. The game is set in World War II and has players assume the role of an OSS agent who is charged with the subverting and fighting back against Nazis. In addition to multiplayer mode, the game will feature a single-player campaign that is estimated to last 10 to 12 hours, along with the many documentaries, produced in cooperation with World War II veterans. Prior to co-founding Respawn, Zampella co-founded Infinity Ward, the studio best known for the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series. Maybe this is exactly what EA needs.
They need something.
They have been in the biggest rut, the biggest ditch for years now.
Yeah, but I don't know. The guy from Respawn's going to EA, right? Is that what that?
Right, the Respawn boss takes over EA.
I mean, if he's going there to do maybe not the sports stuff or whatever, if he's wanting to just take over like solo story driven games or something like that, I think it might be a good direction. Like Fallen Order was amazing.
Hell yeah!
And it had EA stickers all over it. But I think EA is starting to learn that as long as they take a back seat and they just all they're doing is just publishing it,
right?
Then it's fine.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Yeah, don't put your finger on it.
No, just publish it. Just put your name on it, put it out there.
Yeah, don't throw your little loot boxes or your surprise mechanics, if you will.
Are you willing to try the new Medal of Honor game? Are you going to give that a shot?
I haven't played a Medal of Honor game in probably 20-something years. Yeah, it's been forever. I forgot they even existed, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't know. I got a little VR set sitting over there. I might give that Medal of Honor Above and Beyond a try.
Yeah, I mean...
just for the fact that it's VR.
Yeah, you have to get the gun, though, right?
Most likely, and I need to pick it up to begin with for Farpoint.
Farpoint's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, this could be, like you said, the right step.
It's the right step. I'm very curious to see what their other original games are gonna be. But yeah, good luck to Zampella, dude. I hope I'm saying your name right. Number 2, Uncharted movie hits a setback and loses yet another director.
This movie is cursed, dude.
We started this podcast on an article about them losing their first one.
Mm-hmm.
Sony's Uncharted film adaptation has occurred in an unexpected setback. Travis Knight, who signed on to helm the project in September of 2019, will no longer direct Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, according to a new report. Deadline states that Holland's work with the next Spider-Man installment has caused scheduling conflicts with Knight. As a result, Knight has been pushed out of the director role and will receive a brand new release date. Uncharted was scheduled to hit theaters on December 18, 2020. Sony still plans to move the film forward with a new director, but an announcement on who will lead the project has not been made. Knight, an animator at Stop Motion Studio, made live-action directorial debut with 2018's Bumblebee. Knight also worked on 2009 Coraline, 2012's Paranorman, and 2014 The Box Trolls, 2016's Kubo and the Two Strings, and more. Uncharted would assert as Knight's 5th directorial project. 2019 marked a year of consistent changes for Sony's Uncharted film project adaptation, a project that has been in the works since 2008. It was reported over the summer that the film had been rewritten, with Joe Carnahan penning the first draft. The current script was written by Art Markham, Matt Holloway, and Ravi Judkins. In addition to several script changes, Uncharted has seen a number of directors sit in the chair, from Sean Levy to Dan Trachtenberg to Seth Gordon, Travis Knight, which is the latest director to walk away from the film. But in the past week, we have gotten an update that after losing Travis Knight, it seems the upcoming Uncharted film might have landed its newest one in the Venom and Zombieland's director, Ruben Fleischer. Is that how you pronounce that? Fleischer? I hope so, Fleischer. As reported by The Hollywood Reporter, Fleischer is Sony's ideal choice to join Tom Holland and potentially Mark Wahlberg in the project as the 7th and hopefully final director. He is no stranger to Sony, as Venom and Zombieland are both its properties, so it doesn't come to a huge surprise that executives would like him to head up the major project. However, negotiations have not yet begun. So it is safe to say that this movie is not coming out in December 18th of 2020.
Oh, no, probably not.
Not at all.
All right, so here's my thing about that. And I've been going over it in my head, and I think I've figured out the best
I'm okay
solution.
with Travis Knight not directing this movie.
Well, why? He's got a lot of animation experience.
Okay, cool. Go help make the game, not make the movie.
So that's kind of my point that I was getting to. So whenever Hollywood adapts a video game to to a movie, they always want to get like a director, like a movie director, right? And I think that's kind of where the fall off is, because if you take a look at the Tomb Raider movies, not great, right? Even the one with Alicia Vikander.
I was okay with that one.
I mean, it was okay. It was more of
I really didn't care for the Lara Croft ones, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And that doesn't have anything to do with Lara Croft, the actual movie itself. It's really, I'm just not an Angelina Jolie fan at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. But she's gonna be in the Eternal, so that might turn it around a little bit. But and then you look at like like I said, Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider, freaking help me
Resident
out.
Evil?
Resident Evil. Some of them are okay. Like just any video game movie that you've seen doesn't translate that well because it's directed by people that make movies and not people that direct video games.
Correct.
So what's to say that whoever directs a video game, like, because they're still in there, they're doing motion capture, they're acting out scenes. There's a director. There's grips. Everything that's on a movie set is in place in the studio while they're doing motion capture. Mm-hmm. So why couldn't the video game director direct the movie adaptation?
I don't know. I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Because I feel like that director would have more of an idea of what he would want to see on the big screen because it's his game, essentially. So, like, bring in, like, the director, production designers.
And if you're not, at least bring him in to help the actual director or something.
Exactly.
Have a little bit more hands-on. No, I think that would be super cool. As far as the director is concerned, I'm okay with that one, I guess.
I mean, Venom was really good.
It was all right. I love the relationship between the two of them more than the actual movie.
Right. The kind of like back and forth between,
like the bond between the two of them was what drawed me to the movie. And so I was okay with that. Zombieland, everybody loves Zombieland. Like, what's not to love about Zombieland? It's a great movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't like Jesse Eisenberg, but Woody Harrelson's amazing. Bill Murray is amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like The Social Network? I love The Social Network.
I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not because of Jesse Eisenberg. 30 Minutes or Less is actually pretty good, though.
Yes.
I like that one. But it's not because of him. Danny
Emma
McBride's
Stone, what's her name in the movie?
Oh, yeah. That's it. That's Emma Stone. Yeah.
7's supposed to be a lucky number, so let's hope that this is their last and final director.
Yeah, and if not, bring in the game director.
Do you want to take on it? Do you want to take on any bets that this won't be the final director?
Actually, I don't know. This one, it might be. It's a Sony director for a Sony game. Like it's all
for a Sony movie.
Yeah, I mean, it might work out. Who knows? And like Zombieland and Venom are pretty good movies to have like in your resume. So
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
did Venom did it meet expectations or did it flop?
I think it whelmed. I mean, it was successful. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people saw it multiple times. It's got a really good story. There's supposed to be tie-ins between Venom and Spider-Man to some extent at some point.
Right.
So, and I think they're actually starting to film Venom 2 now. So, usually in Hollywood, if it wasn't successful to a degree, there's not a second one.
Right. Okay.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
Number 3 in other Sony news, PlayStation 4 back button attachment coming in January adds programmable paddles. Includes an OLED screen for a cost of $29.99. Sony's DualShock controller is getting a new peripheral called the back button attachment. It adds a pair of programmable paddles to the back of a standard PlayStation 4 controller. The $29.99 device will be available starting January 23rd. The back button attachment includes 3 buttons in total. 2 are used to mimic other buttons on the controller. The third is an embedded OLED screen and will help program the buttons cycle through 3 different profile models. It connects the small port to the bottom of the DualShock 4 controller and includes a pass-through for the headphone jack. The controller paddle traditionally provides an additional or alternate locations for buttons on a standard gamepad. That can be particularly helpful for those with disabilities, those with repetitive stress injuries, or competitive players who are looking to improve their response time. Paddles caught on beginning early this decade with the Avenger, which moved the standard face buttons and even the triggers themselves all around the controller on plastic armatures. These kinds of brute force modifications eventually evolved into fully electronic solutions like those available for SCUF and later the Xbox Elite controller. Now Sony has its own offering. That's pretty cool. For $30. I mean, it didn't look too bad. It looked all right.
No, I mean, it's a little bulky, but I mean, it's...
Do you think it would be something that would help you?
No.
No? Uh-uh.
I don't play that hardcore. Like,
right. Okay.
And plus, like, you have to
Not even
map
for Crucible?
No, because then, like, you got to, like, figure out a different setup and get used to the new paddles, and
right.
It's just,
not for you.
Not for me. But if, I mean, hey, if you're playing that hardcore and you need, 8 digits on that damn thing, then go for it.
I was sitting here thinking to myself when I saw this come out, like how I would use it, and then of course, I was thinking back to Destiny or whatever, as far as like a jump button or a shoot button or anything like that. For people with stress-related injuries, people with disabilities, for hardcore competitive, cool, I see it. For me personally, like, I'm okay with the way the buttons are laid out. Like, I feel weird shooting like this instead of like this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a faster response out of my index finger than I do those down there. So
that's like the people that play with like a finger over each bumper and then a finger over each trigger. Like, I can't do that. I get way too confused. Like, you have like your right index finger on the right bumper and then your right middle finger on the trigger. So you
don't play like that?
No, I play it like this.
So you switch back and forth with your index finger?
Yeah, I'm like up and down like that.
No, see, I can't. I gotta have. Yeah. Okay. So side by.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I suck.
I'm not. I mean, I'm no better than you, buddy. I mean.
No, but I'm saying, like, maybe that's what's impacting my Crucible game, is because I play with a slight delay between.
That
buttons.
would definitely cause a slight delay, but I don't think it's.
I don't know. Whatever. That's how I've been playing it for 20 years. Get off me.
I mean, hey. I mean, I'm not saying it's not any better than the guys out there playing with 1 millisecond refresh rates.
Oh, dude, like those little mouse and keyboard warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Okay. That's cool. It looks cool. I will say that. Have you actually see it?
Yeah, I glanced at it a couple times. I'm gonna pull it back up now. Yeah, no, I mean, it's cool. It's sleek. It doesn't take up too much room. Kind of reminds me of like the old QWERTY keyboard that you could plug in.
Yeah, but you said you didn't care for that though.
I didn't. It takes up. I don't like big controller. That's why I don't like Xbox. Like, I just can't. I can't do the controller.
Would you try it?
Yeah, I'll try it. I'm not gonna buy it to try it, but I mean, if somebody's got it at their house or whatever, and they want me to try it out, then yeah, I'll give it a shot for sure. I mean, nothing. Like I said, nothing against it. It's just not for me.
No, definitely. All right, moving on. Number 4. Something we've all been wondering. The next generation of Xbox is just called Xbox.
Sure. Okay.
During the Game Awards in 2019, Microsoft unveiled the next generation of Xbox, the Xbox Series X, or that's what we and everyone else thought it was called. However, Business Insider recently spoke to Microsoft representative who confirmed the next generation's name is simple: Xbox. Series X is the name of the model coming next year. The name we're carrying forward to the next generation is simply Xbox, said the Microsoft representative, and the Game Awards, you saw that name come to life through the Xbox Series X. In a separation quote, the representative told Business Insider, similar to what fans have seen with previous generations, the name Xbox Series X allows room for additional consoles in the future. This is similar naming convention to the powerful Xbox One X and less powerful Xbox One S. It's unclear if Xbox intends to continue denoting the weaker console with S, leading to the Xbox Series S next year. as well. It's also possible Microsoft could ditch the cheaper model altogether, and the Series X will be the only next-generation console from Microsoft in 2020. Xbox Phil Spencer talked about the new name with GameSpot 2, nothing the possibility of other versions. In the name Series X, it gives us freedom to do with other things at the name that we can so create descriptors when we need to, Spencer said. The Series X offers exciting new features for Xbox players, including new controller with the share button. The recently announced console can also play all generations of Xbox games and is more powerful than the Xbox One. But all that really matters is we know what the next generation is actually called now. It's Xbox, damn it. That's the official name. I just realized the Xbox didn't have a share button. That makes my job really confusing. And I say that because, especially around the time of the holidays or birthdays, you have like boomers, as people call them, come in and buy consoles for their children or their grandchildren or what the hell ever. And I have to explain what an Xbox One X is or an Xbox Series X is different from this One X to the S. Just makes my job hard for these people that don't understand.
That's where your skill set's going to come in. Like, it's because I mean, obviously, like the average gamer that keeps up with the stuff is going to know the difference between each.
Oh
console.
yeah, no, most definitely.
I think the Xbox, like them just renaming it just Xbox, is just kind of simplifying it for the masses.
Yeah.
So. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there'll be some sort of distinction between like a different size console or different series or whatever. But I'm not mad at it. Shit, PlayStation does 5 or 4, and maybe a Slim, maybe you know. But there's distinct differences between each one. Like, what's the difference between like an Xbox Series X and an S? Like, I don't care. You know. But like there's very distinct differences between like a PlayStation Slim and a PlayStation Pro. Like the PlayStation Pro came out and it was like it ran a little bit faster, had 1 terabyte memory instead of 500 gig.
It upscaled all of your games to 4K.
Yep. And then the Slim was just more of a compact console. It's basically a regular PlayStation 4 in a smaller housing.
Right.
And you could tell the difference. So with Xbox, I mean, I don't know, whatever. It's Xbox. I'm on board with that, to be honest with you.
No, I mean that's fine. Does that basically make it seem like there's going to be more than one to come? So that it's simply the Xbox, and then this is the Series X version. I mean, are we getting it like a Series B or a Series O? Like. You know, if they come out with a slimmer model, maybe a cheaper model, you know, whatever.
I wonder if Scarlett's going to be a thing. Like, I mean, I know it was like the code name for it whenever it was being designed and stuff. But
that's what I'm thinking is going to be. That's going to be like the Xbox Series S, which will be your more slimmer, more affordable, low first-tier version, while your Xbox One X is your middle tier, and then your Series X is going to be your high tier. Right. That's what I'm guessing anyways. But yeah. All right, so we'll see. As we all know, I'm already going to be picking it up, so I'll let you know how it is.
All right, yeah, just holler at me. I'll be on my PlayStation 5.
Cube sitting beside because that's not going on my entertainment center.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm telling you, right, it's not going. It will sit beside my entertainment center. The cubby hole is not going to fit that tall-ass thing.
Did they say whether or not you can lay it down?
So they did not, but I don't think that you can, just for the way that I'm gonna watch not an unboxing, but a like break tear down of it to actually see where the fans are, because you don't want to lay it down the wrong way and then you're blocking the fans and it's overheating and everything. So I mean, you can if you have your fans pointing the right way. So.
Well, I mean, they usually put like the exhaust ports like out in the back, right? So
yeah.
I mean, maybe.
And if that's the case, then shoot, yeah, go for it.
It's very cumbersome.
Number 5, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok gameplay, release date, story, location, and more. Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is reportedly the next mainline Assassin's Creed game. If recent leaks are to be believed, thanks to the alleged Amazon and GameStop item listing, we can surmise a few things about the next installment in the long-running franchise. What's next for Ubisoft's biggest franchise? Read on below to find out what we know and what our biggest guesses are. Keep in mind that through Ubisoft has yet to confirm any such information, so take everything with a serious, large grain of salt. What system will Assassin's Creed Ragnarok be on? According to the leaked info, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok will be on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, then also the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Ubisoft has not confirmed any such details. When does the Assassin's Creed Ragnarok take place? Judging from the leaks, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok will take place in the Viking area. According to leaked information shared on Reddit, AC Ragnarok start in or around 845 CE during the Viking-led siege of Paris. The period between 800 CE and about 900 CE were heavily characterized by the Vikings' incursions. According to the leaked info, the meat of the game will start during 863 CE with a character named Jorah, who can be either male or female. As is customary for Assassin's Creed games, we'll meet a number of broadly defined historical figures. According to the leak, the player will meet the King of Wessex, Alfred, Rollo, the first ruler of Normandy, and Charles the Fat, the emperor of the Carolingian something empire. So I fucked that word all up. What will Assassin's Creed Ragnarok gameplay be like? Ubisoft hasn't shown any official gameplay as of yet, and they've certainly not confirmed anything for the leaked information. That said, if any of the leaked info is to be believed, there could be a significant number of updates. You can read the full list of leaked and unconfirmed gameplay at IGN.com, but we've whittled down to what it looks to be the most important stuff. Up to 4-player drop-in, drop-out co-op, much like Ghost Recon Wildlands. New RPG mechanics, introduces new class system, skill tree, changes based on that choice. You'll be able to change your character's class. More weapon types. The weapons can be upgraded with runes. Special abilities for certain groups of weapons. Durability will play a role too. Rather than adrenaline, players can activate a berserker mode that also activates the rune power based on the elemental types. Lightning, fire, frost, so on and so forth. Sailing is back with a more focus on exploration than combat. The Hidden Blade returns and can be upgraded for one-hit kills. The stealth is receiving some upgrades, like allowing players to hide in mud, snow, crouching in bushes, and other hiding options. Players can also hide themselves in crowds and among people so long as their clothing doesn't stick out. Reputation system based on what and who and where you conquest. Conquest battles between independent kingdoms, as in you don't control them yet, may occur naturally. Players can organize large-scale raids in forts and large cities, or just go in it alone. Difficulty has been overhauled. Rather than being about enemy health, the difficulty will be determined on your own health, parry, and enemy reaction times. Leveling is also getting an overhaul, allowing players to improve their individual skill sets and gain experience in them. The leaked info describes it being similar to Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This also means that regions being locked and level number is gone. As for the map, leaked info says that it's compressed most of all of Northern Europe, including the cities of York, London, Paris, and Key. I think it's time. I'm excited. I'm ready for a new Assassin's Creed game.
There's a couple things I want to touch on this.
Okay, go for it.
But don't get me wrong. It's super exciting to have Assassin's Creed news. But it's that time of year. Between January to March timeframe, we start getting leaks. It's been happening since Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
The biggest one I remember was when Origins was getting ready to come out, and there was that picture of Bayek getting ready to go into the tomb, and people were like, "Oh!" I was like, "Oh, cool, Egypt. That sounds awesome." And then that's like when the RPG stuff started. I was like, "Son of a bitch." So we all know I'm not a big fan of the RPG mechanics in right. Assassin's Creed. And then to jump to the next point, the whole drop in, drop out RPG mechanics. You can hide in snow, mud. This is Breakpoint with a Viking theme.
Okay,
that's what I'm getting from it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
I was thinking more of a Tomb Raider. Because that's what you did in the last Tomb Raider game. Was you covered yourself in mud and dirt to hide away.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, like, well, the thing is, I guarantee it's the same mechanic from Breakpoint.
Mm-hmm.
They're reskinning it. I can almost.
Well, they're gonna need to do a lot more than reskin it, because if they're gonna want their game not to fail like Breakpoint did, then.
But like, why would you have a drop-in, drop-out system in an Assassin's Creed game? It doesn't make sense.
That I don't know. That's really weird.
Like Ghost Recon makes sense. Division, it makes sense. Like, oh hey, there's other agents in the area.
I don't think there's enough information out right now, especially any that's not.
Yeah, like obviously, like a Viking setting's super cool.
Yeah.
Like, do it up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't want to count my chickens.
My biggest problem with Assassin's Creed is not really any of that. It's the fact that it's gotten so far away from what Assassin's Creed was and what we all came to love. I miss not only, whatever assassin that you're playing with at the time, but also your backstory of why you're in the Animus to begin with and what you're trying to accomplish.
I think that's what 4 was so good too. Like,
it was Black Flag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just focused on like you, the player, work for Abstergo, and like you're there to research. So that was awesome. And then like before that, you had the Desmond stories, which were, I
love the Desmond story.
That was so good. Like all the way through. Like 1, 2, Brotherhood, Syndicate, or not Syndicate. I'm sorry, Revelations, and 3. Like those are all so good.
I never played Syndicate. And what was the one before that one?
That's the one in Paris.
Yeah, that whatever that one was, I never played that one.
Son of a bitch. I can't remember the name of it. It's on my damn PlayStation. But I mean, like the stories have always been at least pretty decent. But see, the thing that detached me from Odyssey so much is the choice in dialogue. And I think Origins had it too, right? Like you choose like how to answer.
Right.
I don't like that. Like Assassin's Creed's always had a linear story. It's telling a story, and I kind of want that to still be a thing. And it's like they're getting as far away from that as possible, and I don't like that at all. And like. And there's no historical characters in the last 2 really that like stood out. I don't think. Maybe Cleopatra, I guess.
Cleopatra was really the only one.
Who did you have in Odyssey?
So you had a lot of them, a lot of historical people, but unless you're into that time frame, you may not, that Sparta time frame, you may not really recognize a whole lot of them. Mm-hmm. King or Leonidas, excuse me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah, you've got a whole bunch of other guys that I'm not even going to Socrates, that was one of them. But yeah, there's a lot of them that I'm not even going to try and butcher their names. No. But yeah, what did you say? What was the other game?
Oh, Unity.
Yeah. Unity and Syndicate were 2 that I never played.
They're I mean, other than glitchy, like Unity's not a bad game.
Should I play them? Let me ask you that. Like, since I'm not playing anything right now other than Death Stranding, should I leave your house right now after this is over and go pick it up?
I mean, you could. I mean, are there other things out there to play? Absolutely. But if you're a fan of the series, Unity implemented a lot of new mechanics that are really cool. Like the parkour system's way different in Syndicate and Unity than it is in 4 backwards, right? So like a lot of downward traversal, which is awesome. Really cool flips over stuff, and just the maneuvering looks really cool.
Have you beat them all?
Yeah, except for Odyssey. I put it down. I couldn't do it anymore. The ending for Origins I thought was super awesome. But yeah, I've beaten Syndicate, Unity, all the way back. Syndicate's fun. A lot of people give hate for it, but there's really cool shit in there too. Like there's a Jack the Ripper DLC. Like,
I heard about that.
And
I did hear about that.
You fight him at the end, and it's awesome. You fight him in like this little I don't know. Almost looks like, I think it's like a medical building, like a hospital.
Like, this is completely weird and random, but I love the Jack the Ripper kind of spinoff that DC did with Batman. Don't know if you ever.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That was actually really good.
Yeah. But you can go to Edward Kenway's house.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's in London, dude. Like, it's really cool. Your base is on a train.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, I don't know, shit. I might re-download it. I don't know. Like, it's to me, the Assassin's Creed games before the RPG mechanic became in, were super fun. Like, Origins didn't have it too heavy. It just had that new fighting style or whatever.
Right.
So it was still playable to me. I still enjoyed it. But this new shit, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I might do that. Xbox Series X won't have any exclusives for at least a year. Xbox games will be playable on the Series X or Xbox Ones. 2020 is when the next generation of consoles is set to be released, but Microsoft is upending the playbook this year by announcing the upcoming Series X won't launch with any exclusive games. Instead, any new titles playable on the Series X will also be playable on the older consoles as well. And a quote from Microsoft: as our content comes over the next year, 2 years, all of our games, sort of like PC, will play up and down to that family's devices. Xbox Studio boss Matt Booty, that's a funny last name there, buddy, Matt Booty.
Matt Booty.
Booty, Booty. In a recent interview with MCV, we want to make sure that if someone invests in the Xbox now and the Series X, that they feel like they've made a good investment and that we're committed to them with content. What this means is the Xbox will still have console exclusives and Xbox and PC, but they won't be limited to just the Series X. Upcoming games for the next-gen Microsoft console will also be playable on the Xbox One S and Xbox One X. This is somewhat of a departure for the next-gen hardware. While there are cross-gen games that are usually released within the first 2 years of the console's launch, there is also a next-gen exclusive games that are released incentives for the early adoption of the hardware. But Microsoft seems to be avoiding that strategy with the Series X. Anticipated Series X games like Halo Infinite are already confirmed, but also to be coming to the Xbox. But it sounds like Microsoft is planning for Xbox games to be cross-gen for at least the next 2 years. That's weird. I don't like it. That is not a business strategy that I would go with. I would have at least one. At least one game.
Yeah, well, yeah. Something.
I mean,
but they've had their, Xbox has been doing exclusives forever, you know. It started with Halo. Like,
yeah.
You know, so.
And it'll probably end with Halo.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's whatever. Things are changing. Times are changing.
No.
Everybody's kind of trying to develop new business models, and this might be it.
Yeah, I think that's something we're going to see a lot of this decade, is a whole lot of new business models that we weren't used to seeing last decade.
Yep.
But we'll see. Like I said, everything's going to be, playable. It's going to be upscaled to fit the system that it's playing on. So we'll see.
I'm really interested to see how those graphics are going to kick up from like older games on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Same with PlayStation. PlayStation's doing all of them too.
Mm-hmm. Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 10 directors who could take over the spot. Phase 4 has hit another snag. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness director Scott Dickerson has dropped out due to creative differences with Marvel Studios, with the sequel set to start filming later this year for a May 2021 release. That doesn't leave Marvel with much time to find a replacement. More than ever, it takes a special kind of director into the helm a Marvel movie, someone who can bring a unique voice to the table and while still working within the confines of a major studio and massive cinematic universe. Not everyone is cut for that gig, but we have a few picks for directors who have the right voice, the proper resume, and the availability to take over Doctor Strange 2. Before we get into that, how do you feel about the losing of the director for the Doctor Strange movie?
I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. He did really good on the first one, right?
I thought so too.
So it always sucks to lose like a Marvel director, especially when they've made such a good film in the cinematic universe before. And that's why like everybody was kind of freaking out when James Gunn got fired. Because he did so well in the first two, so you know they had to bring him back. But and that always bothers me, like whenever a director has creative differences, like with the studio, especially when it's Marvel. Because you never know who's right. You know what I mean? Because like I don't know if it's got corporate butting their nose in there, or if it's just like Scott was just trying to do something that didn't fit with what the story they were trying to tell, and he was trying to take it a separate direction or whatever. But
I mean, I think personally, if you look back at whoever's resume or whoever's doing, so on and so forth. Prime example. So go ahead and just think of the Spider-Man movies. You've got Far From Home and you've got Homecoming. Both directed by John Watts. Both made, over...
I know for sure Far From Home made over $1 billion.
Okay, but Homecoming made $880.2 million. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you have a director who you've obviously seen do good on past movies, and brought you in, that right there is 6 times the actual budget. Then leave them alone. Let them do their thing. They've showed you that they can actually do it.
Yeah.
Let them do it.
Well, I think the problem with the Doctor Strange sequel is the fact that they're showing the multiverse now, right? Like they've shown it before, like in little bits and pieces, but now this is like a movie that's solely focused on the multiverse, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he had a way that he wanted to show it, and Marvel didn't agree with it.
Right.
Or vice versa. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like when you're not in that boardroom, you know what I mean.
No, you're right. You're not a fly on that wall.
I don't know. I mean, I would like to see him come back, but I mean, they said there's suggested directors, right? So
that's what we're gonna get into now. Yeah. Number 1 is gonna be Travis Knight.
I'm gonna have to like Google all like some of these directors because like some of them I don't. Oh, Travis Knight was the animated guy. Okay. Yeah.
Deborah Chow, number 2.
Maybe.
Mike Flanagan, number 3.
Actually, he might be one of the better ones.
Matt Bettinelli.
All right. Oh, he did VHS.
Matt Bettinelli did?
Yeah.
I love VHS movies.
Yeah, he did that one. That's awesome.
Jennifer Reeder.
Nothing too big. Okay.
Dennis Widmeyer.
Oh, dude, he did the Pet Sematary remake.
Okay.
So like some of these directors have like some horror.
Yeah, I was just about to say that a lot of these have a lot of horror behind them.
Yeah.
Rose Glass. I'm gonna butcher this last name. Rick Famuyiwa. FAMUYIWA.
Famuyiwa.
Something in there. Silent.
Famuyiwa.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, he did Dope. That's pretty cool. That was a good movie.
Miguel Sapochnik. Sapochnik.
Oh, he did Repo Man. That movie's so good.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Matt Shackman. So a lot of what I'm seeing here is a lot of like horror thriller directors.
Right, which I think is the direction that they're kind of wanting to go with that, which is, I mean, they've been saying that from the beginning, that it's going to be a more horror based than it's supposed to be a scary movie. Like,
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think Flanagan would probably be my...
Yeah.
I think Flanagan would probably be my choice.
Yeah. There's or the guy the one that did the Pet Sematary remake. I know that movie flopped, but
was it the Rick?
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Number 8, the next Batman game is teased with a new logo. Warner Brothers Game Montreal updated their website with a mysterious circle that houses some of the different sigils teased so far. 2 of the blanks are filled with the emblems from the League of Shadows and today's mysterious Gotham City symbol, but there are still 8 circles left empty. Warner Brother Games seems to be teasing at least 8 more emblems that could represent different factions in the game. We know at least one of the emblems not included in the circle is the torch symbol. Warner Brother Games teased in September of 2019, but the rest remains a mystery. It's likely Warner Brothers Games will continue to reveal more emblems to complete the sigil. That's cool. It definitely is not confirmed, but I'm ready for another Batman game. We haven't had one in a super long time. They were all phenomenal games, amazing. I loved them personally. I thought they were great.
I mean, I played Arkham Knight like 3 times.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So anything like that, you'll definitely be happy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're trying to do like the Court of Owls on this one. So I mean, okay, we're gonna go off the timeline. So like they did September, they did a little sneak, right? And then a couple days ago they did another one. So October, November, December. So if we do every 4 months,
it's gonna be 2021 before anything happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, unless I don't know, unless we get like some E3 stuff or whatever this year, but that's still 6 months away.
Yeah, no, I'm so ready for E3 this year.
It's gonna be a good one.
All right, number 10. Will there be a Destiny movie or TV show? Bungie says anything is possible. One of those advantages of Bungie fully owning the Destiny IP is that we have the freedom to make those choices whenever and however we want, and when we think the time is right. Will Bungie's Destiny become the latest video game to be adapted for a TV show or movie? It's too soon to say for sure, but the design lead, Robbie Stevens, said in a new interview that all possibilities are on the table. He told Hollywood Reporter that because Bungie owns the Destiny IP, the studio controls the franchise completely, and this includes any transmedia efforts. Anything is possible. He said that the Destiny series expanding beyond video games. One of the advantages of Bungie fully owning the Destiny IP is that we have the freedom to make those choices whenever, however, and whenever we want. As he has said numerous reported times, he said that that's all he can say about it. The Destiny series is known for its narrative depth. Known for its narrative depth, there is a lot going on in the sci-fi world. As such, it would seem that Destiny series is a rich tapestry for storytelling beyond games. However, as of yet, there has been no transmedia projects for Destiny on TV or the big screen. So basically what I think this has gotten thrown around a lot. And, all they're saying is that it's just, if the time is right, the money is right, the director is right, anything is possible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't completely scrap it off the table, but I think if you can, I personally don't care for it. I don't really want to see it, but if you take those really, really awesome shows that are out nowadays, like The Mandalorian or The Witcher or anything of those type things, and you give them that background, that setting, that director, not something like some blockbuster type movie deal where it sucked. I think it would be cool. It'd be good, right? Maybe. It's going to be kind of weird, though, because Destiny's all about choices. And you're going to have somebody making those choices for you in order to watch it. It's your choice. So who are we going to follow? Are we going to follow a hunter? Are we going to follow a warlock or a titan? I mean,
I don't think it's going to be anything like that, actually.
It needs to be like based on like Zavala or
I'm thinking
Cade.
in Destiny 2 in the beginning, like you kind of get Zavala's backstory. I mean, you get we know where Ikora came from, sort of. We know what happened with Cade. Like, I think Destiny's got such a lore, like such a expansive lore, that you could cherry pick any character.
Oh yeah,
like a Dredge in your show, or Shin Malfur, or a Saint 14, even though he just came back.
And see, that's kind of something cool about a lot of shows nowadays. Take the biggest one that most people know would be American Horror Story. Each season is all the same characters, but yet based in a different time frame or narrative story path. And I mean, you could do that for the same thing with the Destiny game. Have it to where like it's all the same actors or actresses, but yet a different, it's focusing on someone different for each season.
Right. I mean, honestly, yeah, I wouldn't mind like there being an overarching thing. So like, you start out, for instance, you start out a season with Shin Malfur, right? You tell his story, and then like the next season, then you switch it to like Saint 14, right?
Right, exactly.
And then the next season you do Dredge and Yor, or stuff like that, and then just kind of keep building that, and then like season 6 or 7 or whatever, do a big old like
and they all come Crisis on Infinite Earth type thing.
No, I got a better idea. I would like to see all the people that went down to fight Crota with Eris Morn, so like Ariana and
well, there you go, give her backstory.
Yeah, because her backstory is super cool. Like she's ripped her eyes out and put in hive eyes, which is super cool. But
or maybe even a little narrative depth about how some of these weapons are made, because these weapons are such a big focal point of the game to begin with.
Exactly. Like show me the battle on Twilight Gap. Like show me how Gallahorn got put together. Show me, how Thorn came to be or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, give me some backstory on all this lore. Like, there's so many directions that they could take. I just think like solidifying it to an extent is going to be kind of hard to like pick the story, and as I would much rather see it as a lower budget show, than like a huge knock it out of the park Hollywood blockbuster movie. Like,
but that's the thing. Like, there's stuff becoming so much more narrative depth as something that has blown up a lot more over the years. And I think that's why if I had to choose one, I'm so much more of a bigger fan of TV shows than I am movies. Because you can get way more in depth to their story and their background in a, say, 5-season show than you can a trilogy of a movie.
Absolutely.
That's where, especially something you enjoy so much more, that's definitely where you want to see it taken. It'd be cool. I don't think it'll be something that'll come out this year, but it'd be something cool to see.
Oh, dude, we're not going to see this for a long time. No. But it's cool. It's always cool to kind of ponder about and think about, because like they've done 3 or 4 live action trailers and stuff, and they've all looked really cool. So I mean, it's there. Like they, obviously they had Activision money when they did it, but the storytelling and like the ability. The storytelling is there, the characters there, the know-how is there, and I think it's just more of a money thing probably, because like they went solo this year, or last year, so maybe they're just saving up.
Have you ever seen any of those fan-made, movies and stuff on YouTube?
Some are really good.
I love the Division one. I thought that was super cool.
Isn't that the one that made it to Amazon Prime?
Yes, it was, and it was like fan-made on YouTube, and then they put it on Amazon Prime. Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit like you can tell like it's low budget, but it's neat. The guys even got like a little bit of a backstory, kind of like got a wife and kid, and but yeah, it's I always like seeing the people that grab onto stories of whatever they're into, and then portraying them to their best ability through whatever medium they can. It's just nice to see a passionate fan base.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up here on episode 18. Catch us back here every Wednesday, and we will see you next week.
And if you haven't subscribed, do it now. Hit the notification bell. Podcasts go out every Tuesday, I think.
That's the thing. I need to actually set an actual date, because I'll have days where I'll get it done tonight, and I'll have it set for like noon tomorrow to go out, but it's always at noon.
Right.
But I need an actual day,
which makes it even more imperative that you hit that notification bell.
So why don't we just go ahead and say, let me just say every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I will make it a goal to have it put out there.
All right. Make sure like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next week.
Please, for the love of God, comment. Give Jeff something to talk about.
Please.